Revenge films.
One day, I received a call that my foster mother had passed away. This lady was just a good neighbor at first. She lived about 10 minutes away from my home, and I wasn't related to her by blood or anything of that matter. She had a son, but he had died in an accident, and her husband never supported her. What's worse, he quickly had an affair with another woman and disappeared just like that. My parents sure had me as their child, but because they were running their own business, they were always super busy. They kind of just left me with this lady to take care of me. My parents did pay for all of my education fees, though. They even paid extra for the lady. They just didn't have the time at all to raise me. Therefore, until I was old enough to look after the house, around 3rd grade, I would stay at my foster mother's place for the bulk of my time. It was my parents who would come and visit me from time to time. From 3rd grade and onwards, my daily schedule would be like this. I would go to school from my house, go to my foster mother's place after school, and eat dinner with her. Then I would go to my house to sleep. My foster mother said she was too worried to leave me alone, even when I was a 3rd grader, so she let me visit her house every day to eat with her. Furthermore, into my elementary school grades, I began going to cram school, so I spent less time going over to her place after school. But even after I'm grown up, I felt much closer to her than my real parents. A few years into my adult life, I got married. Of course, I introduced my husband, Joshua, to her, and I had her participate in our wedding as well. I soon left my hometown, and we were airplane distance apart, but whenever I had the chance to go back, I would always visit her. But like I said, I got the news that she had passed away. I got the call on Friday. I have to work off on the weekends, but I was told the funeral was on Monday. So I phoned my husband, who was still at work. Hey, I got a call that my foster mom passed away. I'm thinking of getting a plane ticket right now and heading over tomorrow. However, my husband said,
What? She's not your real mother. Do you really have to take a day off of work to go?
He sounded pretty grumpy. Well, but she took care of me so much when I was little. She's the one who technically raised me.
You say she raised you, but that's only until 3rd grade, right? And I mean, she was getting paid to do it, right? That's just work. It's business.
Just as he says, my foster mother sure was receiving money from my parents, but she really took me in like her own child. When I had to go through surgery, it was my foster mother who stayed by my side. I talked to my husband about this numerous times, but his opinion was that there was no way a stranger would just take care of a stranger's child out of pure kindness. Hey, I've talked about this before, but even after 3rd grade, she continued to support me so much. She cooked for me, looked after me, and helped me in my daily life. So like my real mother, maybe more than my real mom, so...
Even if you did go to her funeral, you won't be able to get plane tickets on discount because it's so soon, right? How much is it gonna cost in total? Plus, you say she was like family. Are you planning to pay a bulk for the funeral offering?
Like that, he kept pestering me, making it very obvious he was unhappy about my choices. Even when I said I'll be paying for the plane tickets and condolences money from my own salary, he never agreed to my opinions. But no matter how much he didn't like it, not attending was never a choice. I have to finish my tasks for today. However, I did feel bad just going without his approval, so I texted him. Let's talk when we get home. I want you to understand before I leave. I quickly applied for a paid leave, and I came back home without doing any extra work. But Joshua wasn't home. It was already past 8 p.m. when I finally got a reply, but...
No matter what you say, my opinion isn't changing. I'll be staying over at a friend's place. I won't be going home.
That's what I got. The next morning, Joshua never came home, and if I continued waiting for him, I'd be late for the plane I booked. So I left a note and left for the airport. I wanted to properly mourn for my foster mother, but I was filled with mixed emotions. My husband never said anything about buying gifts for my real parents with my own money. But only when I would buy things for my foster mother, he would have problems. For example, when I try to send flowers to both mothers on Mother's Day,
Come on! You don't have to send it to unrelated people!
Is what he said. I knew it could be hard to understand because of the unique situation. I didn't expect him to say no to her funeral. Carrying my mixed feelings, I was able to say my goodbyes to her and came back home on Tuesday. And that night, I decided to sit down and have a conversation with Joshua when he came back home from work. He didn't want to talk with just the two of us, so he asked a friend to join, one per each side, and decided to talk at a restaurant with private rooms. I had forced my friend to come with me when she already was busy, so I felt really bad. What my husband had to say was,
Recently, mothers and daughters are too close. They're too codependent. That's why I thought, if I get married, I don't want to marry a girl that's too sticky and close to her mother. You weren't like that with your real mother, so that's why I married you. But you were exactly like what I feared with this foster mother of yours. You called her so much and sent her gifts. I was disappointed. I can't stand these relationships with mothers and daughters. But you're not even related to this foster mother. This is crazy!
my opinion was, it takes over 3 hours using buses and trains to get to where my foster mother lives. I only sent her gifts on Mother's Day and her birthday, and I only called her once a week just to check in on her. Plus, I used to call her because she was sick, and I wanted to know she was doing well. Hold on. Why do you even know I used to call her? I thought you wouldn't even like it, so I made sure I only called her when you weren't home.
Well, that's...
And then found out that my husband had been wiretapping the house when he saw me pull a disgusted face.
I just didn't want you to neglect me. If I knew you were codependent with your mother, we wouldn't be married. I only wiretapped the house because I thought I was being tricked or something.
He didn't show a single sign of remorse. My relationship with my foster mother is not like what you say it is. We live so far away. The codependent thing you're talking about is mother and daughter relationships that are close that they can't stand living apart from each other.
No! If the emotional dependency is strong enough, I would say it's the same!
That's so not true.
Nope! From my viewpoint, I think you two were crazy!
Talk went nowhere. In the end, we weren't able to reach a conclusion, and Joshua and I decided to live separately for a while. Then, on the way home, my friend said, "Hey, I feel bad for saying this, but I had no idea what your husband was talking about. He seemed like an alien to me." This hurt the most. Back when we were dating, I did feel like he was the picky type. But if I didn't talk about my foster mother, he was a very sincere and kind man. Maybe I was so stupid to not notice this side of him, but I didn't expect it to be this bad. After living separately for a while and collecting our thoughts, I tried settling another date to talk again. But right when I tried doing so, I heard he was living with another girl. To top that off, this girl was someone I knew. She was a friend of mine. Of course, this was a different person who showed up at a previous conversation occasion. What did he mean by the whole "I didn't want you to neglect me" bullshit? In the end, it was so close to impossible to fix things with him since then, so we naturally got divorced. When we did, I demanded both Joshua and this friend who had an affair with him consolation money, and they both paid in bulk, so I used that money to start living alone. Soon after we got divorced, I heard that Joshua saw his new girlfriend walking with her mother's arms linked. He yelled at her.
You were tricking me too?!
And in broad daylight attacked her with full force, in front of her mother, mind you. Her mother called for the police and he got arrested right then and there. She had an injury that took 2 full weeks to heal, and obviously broke up with him after that. I was overwhelmed to lose my foster mother, husband, and friend within a matter of weeks. Honestly, all I wanted to say was, the two of you was in your face. Now that I think about it, even if I did continue my married life with Joshua, I had a high chance of ending up like this poor girl. So I guess I'm glad I was able to break up and divorce him without any major damages. Maybe my foster mother took my bad relationships away to the afterlife with her. Anyways, new, fresh feelings. I'm enjoying my new life alone.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.